Good morning.
Morning.
Hi. Hello. Hello. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. Just like this week was pretty heavy, I
Okay.
guess. I mean energetically, but also just physically.
Yes.
Just feeling very exhausted, and like lethargic. But I mean I kind of know why, because I got the sorry, can you see me? You froze.
Yes. I can
Okay.
see you. I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So you
Okay.
don't know what? You said you know why you
Oh, I
you're
got
like,
I got like a vaccine shot last week.
oh,
So this week I've just been like very just slow and sluggish. So trying to get out of the fog. But I think also just energetically, like there was like an intense full moon and Mercury was out of retrograde, which I thought was gonna get lighter, but so just kind of feeling all the feelings.
yeah. Well, the thing about Mercury being out of retrograde is it's actually still in the shadow of
Sure.
retrograde for the next 3 weeks,
Yeah.
which for people who are energetically sensitive, nothing shifts at all. Um, because
Yeah.
essentially what happens is Mercury retrogrades for 3 weeks and then it comes back, but through the shadowed retrograde. So we're just moving back through within that time. Hi, Lena. Good morning. We're moving back through that time, and whatever was destined to be cleared or released during that portion, it's almost like tying up loose ends. So it's still really heavy. I don't notice usually a shift out of Mercury retrograde until we've passed the shadow, which is another like 3 weeks. And then yes, oh my gosh, that full moon in Aries was very intense. Aries is the sign of self-identification anyway, right? It's like, who am I? What am I about? What do I mean? What do I care about? How do I interact and relate with the outside world? Like, what is my purpose? What is my place? And all of these like deep questions. What defines me? And what have I used to define myself that is no longer appropriate to use to define myself? And all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
So, for for those who are, very energetically connected, it can be a very intense experience for sure. So, good noticing on that.
Yeah, and I don't know if it makes any difference, but I'm an Aries, so it's
Me
yeah.
too. And yes,
Oh, you are? When's your
yeah,
birthday?
March 30th.
Okay, I'm the 22nd. So I'm like
Oh,
right on the cusp. Yeah.
yeah, you are. I
Yeah.
love it.
Mhm.
So it makes a huge difference because any Aries people, any Arians are going to feel that full moon in Aries like to the nth degree, what far more heavily than anyone else is going to experience it. So, yes, absolutely. It makes a massive, massive difference. Okay, so we've got that heaviness. How did you do with your homework? Did you post a selfie?
Yeah. Today's gonna be my 7 days. I haven't posted today's yet, but I posted six, and then what I was proud of or slash what I love about myself under the like in the caption.
Yay! There's Cielo. Hi, Judy. We're so excited to have
Hi,
you live
Judy.
with us. We missed you, Judy. So glad to have you back. Cielo, that is so awesome. And what did you notice about yourself and about the experience of posting selfies on a daily basis? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely self-judgment that goes into posting these because like I don't post that many selfies, especially six in a row. And like on days where I'm tired and I look crappy. And I was just like, well, I got to post these 7 days in a row. So I was just like, before work, like walking to work, like, let me get this in because after work I'll look worse. but but otherwise I think it was good to actually not just connect with myself, but kind of connect with other people, because I feel like on social media everyone's just posting like how great life is, and it's kind of fake, and so I used a lot of the days to be just more transparent and like talk about things that like really scare the hell out of people and they avoid talking about at all costs. And so I could tell, like, people were really on board with some of them, and then others people were like, I'm not like,
Terrified to
yeah.
even touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, they're like, I'm not liking this. I'm not double tapping on this. So
I don't want anyone to know that I can relate to this thing that you posted. Yeah.
yeah,
Isn't
but
it fascinating?
I felt like it was more freeing for me, because I just think like this is who I am, and if whatever, I'd rather people know instead of just be
Right?
like, oh, I'm happy all the time. It's like, no, I get sad too. So
Oh, I love that so much. And I feel like you've touched on something really important, Cielo, that is something that I teach in my private community a lot, but I forget to talk about it in my public community, which is that the more filtered you are, the more you're attracting people who like your filtered version of self. And the
mhm,
less filtered you are, the more you're attracting people who can actually deeply resonate and connect with who you are as a being.
mhm,
And I experienced this on a personal level when I started openly talking about the fact that I can communicate with angels, I can communicate with intergalactic beings, that I'm psychic, that I can, like read people's minds if I'm given permission by the universe to do so. Things like that really started opening up about my spiritual and energetic gifts. I noticed that anybody who'd been attracted to me before I talked about my gifts, like, was horrified, repelled by my truest version of self. And they were like, "Oh man, you're freaking me out. I can't handle this," and I lost a couple of clients in the process. And although that was devastating to me, I actually started magnetizing more people who were in alignment with the things that I was talking about.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like coming out of the closet, like, yo, this is who I am. And if you
Yeah,
have a problem,
yeah,
like, cool, like, don't be my friend, I guess. I mean, even though, I mean, I've
yeah.
already lost a lot of friends, and I'm just like,
Right,
I'd rather people be my friend for who I am, like trauma and all
right.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like come to me, come to you for you, not based on who you expect me to be, not based on, thinking that my life is perfect and I have all the answers, not based on, thinking that I'll keep my mouth shut and, act demure and, follow the rules and listen to all the instructions and not make waves, keep my communication clean, or whatever it is that is kind of part of who you are.
Hmm.
And the more you accept that version of yourself, and that's essentially the journey that we're on together, is to help you accept you, to help you love you. Because when you can love and accept yourself, then finally you can actually attract people in to your circle who can love and accept you also, just the way that you come, the way that you be.
Yeah. Yeah, and like even in, the last year, I've lost like major key players in my life. And it's sad. And I still have to contact, have contact with some of them, because I'm related. I'm like, one's my sister. So, but anyways, and there's a part of me that will like see or like what she's doing, and and just be sad that I'm not a part of it, but at the same time I'm like, well, I want to go where I wanted. So I mean, if she can't accept me for who I am, or um sorry, I'm just like really sad about it.
Don't be sorry. Feel that. Feel that. Let that emotion pass through you. Yeah. Open your heart on it. Let it pass through you. Be sad because you are sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I spent like a lot of my life looking up to her just to find out she couldn't stand me, and it's a hard pill to swallow, but I also know that she really hates herself, and like she hates that I'm emotional. She really hates it, and she's bullied me my whole life for being emotional, and she can't stand it, and she can't bear to have me in her life because I can't stuff it in. Even I've tried stuffing my emotions down, and they just come out. They just, like they're like they want to be seen, and I feel like I want to be seen, and it pisses her off. And she straight up told me like like I can't really have you in my life anymore. Like she's like, you can contact me, we can be cool, but don't contact me for the heavy stuff. She's like, I can't do it. And I have to honor that because she is being honest with me. She can't be there for me the way I always wished she would, because she was kind of like a second mom, because my mom was like really checked out. And I had to learn the hard way that this fantasy I had of her, of being this, like, I kind of idolized her, and I just always wanted her acceptance and her validation. I wasn't ever going to get it, and I had to just be okay with it. I mean, even though like you don't have to be okay with it, but I had to accept it, whether I felt okay about it or not.
Right. Yeah, you were allowed to have your feelings around it,
Yeah,
but you're allowed to not be okay with it. And
yeah.
yes, you have to accept it because you can't control her. So if that's what she wants, then yeah, then respecting that. Do you know why, Cielo? I know that you've done a lot of inner work and a lot of healing on yourself. Do you know why? Have you realized why she can't have you in her life?
I think it's too painful for her to do. I mean, to be reminded of, I guess, our shitty childhood. I mean, everyone processes things differently, and she just chose to run away. Like she moved out and never came, like not out of state. She's just in San Diego. She's not far, but um,
Far enough where she doesn't have to be faced with it every day, right?
yeah, I mean, she told me, she's like, I moved away to get away from you, and it wasn't far enough. And so I mean that,
Wow.
yeah. And so, but then, she said that in anger, but then, there's truth. I mean, I'm sorry, even when people say things in anger, I feel like there's a lot of truth to what they're saying. That's like what they really want to say. But then she'll be like, oh, come down and visit. I'm like, really? I mean, you just told me you couldn't get far. So I'm like, make up your mind, honey. I just, now I'm like, what do you want? Because you told me to not contact you. You told me you basically didn't want me in your life. But then it's like, oh, come down, see the new house. And I'm like, I guess. I mean, obviously I'm happy for her, but I also don't kind of feel welcome. So I'm like hesitant, but I do want
Oh,
that
I'm not
connection.
surprised that you don't feel welcome. That seems to make sense to me. Yeah, absolutely. I think you're onto something. First of all, when you said, that you feel like what she said in anger, right, Lena? So, ouch. What she said in anger um, was her truth. I think that you're right. I think that is her truth.
Hmm.
Um, but her truth and the truth are
Hmm.
different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was true for her. I moved away to get away from you, and it wasn't far enough. And when you say it's too painful for her and she's not willing to do the work, you're onto something. You're heading in the right direction. Essentially, Cielo, you're a mirror for her, and and she's not interested
Yeah.
in seeing what you reflect back to her, which is that she is unhealed. And what's the easiest way to not see your reflection?
Not look in the mirror. Like,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Right? And the problem is that there is nowhere. Yes, right, Judy? It is some super heavy shit. There is no way for her to not look in the mirror because you are not the only mirror that exists on this planet. You are the most crystal mirror, the most crystal clear mirror because you lived the same experiences that she lived, right? So you reflect back to her the truth, the exact truth of her trauma, the depth of her trauma, the realities of her trauma. You are her least favorite mirror because you show her the most unhealed parts of herself. And that shit is so fucking intense, man. And it's so easy to blame the mirror. Mirror, I hate you because you show me exactly the things that I don't want to see about myself, right? Like it's so easy to blame the mirror, but the mirror is just the mirror. It's just the mirror. It's just the mirror. Like it's just a being. It's just being, right? As are you. You're just being. Now, there is a part of that she's like, I can't handle this. I can't hold you. And that part is the part that's very similar to that pattern in relationships that we found, which is, can you just hold me in my pain? Can you just validate me? Right? That's not a job that anybody else can do, but we've already talked about that. You know this for yourself. You already know this. You've pointed right at it in your very first session. You're like, I want people to hold me. I want someone to heal me. And I don't know how to stop wanting that in a relationship dynamic. So you did the only thing that you could do. You started a healing journey. I mean, you continued a healing journey. You got to the edges of what you could do by yourself, and then you reached out for additional help. It's the only thing you can do, babe. You're making strong strides in your journey to hold and validate yourself so that you don't require it um, from another person. And I was having this conversation with one of my friends last night. It's so interesting in a relationship is that when you finally get to a point where you don't need someone, you attract in the perfect people for you, whether that's romantic, whether that's friends, whether that's even in business or with money. When you finally get to the point where you no longer need it, you can't help but magnetize it to you in like major influxes.
yeah.
Um, so, how painful, right? For you to experience. Since this is our last one-on-one session, my best suggestion to you with your sister and anybody who you cannot escape, anybody who you are in a family, familial relationship with, my best suggestion to you would be get as much space from that person or those people as possible while you work through what needs to be healed, right? You actually still have to dissolve that expectation that you had from your sister to be there for you, like as your second mom, right? Because there's that desire. There's still that desire to have that connection with her. I'm going to say go ahead and dissolve that desire. Focus on releasing her as a sister, as a support system, as a second mom, all of those identifiers that she previously held for you.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on shedding that, dissolving that, releasing that. Set her free.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, interesting enough, when I woke up this morning, I woke up and for some reason I was like, okay, I need to, I woke up and I was like, I set everyone free and I set
Wow.
myself free. And I hope they set me free because sometimes people have, like cords and stuff. So I did like a little, like, cord dissolving statement, just because I want everyone to do what they need to do. And I want to be able to do what I got to do without the expectation and, without all that woundedness, able to, like not, feel obligated to me and vice versa and just, be free and start forgiving these people. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like I forgive her, but I'm just sad, like it's like I'm grieving the loss of
Yeah.
this
All of those parts that she played.
parental figure. Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. And the great news is that you don't need anybody's release of you
Yeah.
to be released by them. You
Hmm.
don't need anybody's permission and for them to release you to be released. You get to actually manage that. And the way to manage that is sister says, "Hey, come down and see me." And you either don't respond at all or you say, "No, thank you. Thanks for the invite. No, thank you." Release, release, release. Don't initiate conversation. Don't react or respond. Don't engage. Release, 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 release. It sounds as if she may have inherited some of the unhealed trauma that your dad has, that your brother has. But the inverse of it, which tends to be really hidden, which tends to be really difficult for people to see within themselves, right? When people are outwardly violent, outwardly abusive, it's really easy to see that. When people are covertly or emotionally manipulative, it's much harder to see that, right? But there are still many ways that that trauma can reveal itself.
Yeah, like for her, she really needs to look like she has it together. Like on the outside, like, I think she just keeps in touch with me because it makes her look good or something. Or you know what I mean? Like, oh, like God forbid I have a estranged sister. So it's kind of like, look how perfect my life is, look how happy my family is. Which yeah, I want us to be harmonious and I want us to be healed. And at the same time, I'm like, keep it real. Like you said what you said. Like now you're acting like you didn't say it. So it's like, it's a little weird.
Well, yeah, I mean, therein lies the emotional manipulation, right? To say something that overt, as in, I actually moved to San Diego to get away from you and it's not far enough. And then to say, "Come see my new house," that in itself is emotional manipulation, babe. That in itself is unhealed behavior. That in itself is a huge red flag to you, to um, to the evidence that exists that there will not be a harmonious relationship between you until she decides to heal. And I do say decides and not accidentally falls into it, because it's 100% a decision. She is making the conscious decision to not heal,
Yeah.
the same as you are making a conscious decision and have been to heal. Does that make sense? Harmony cannot exist between you until you're both on a healing journey, until you're actually on the same playing field. Even if you're 10 years ahead of her, at least she has the desire to heal your relationship. She doesn't have the desire, babe, and you cannot create a harmonious relationship by yourself. I'm so sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that is just not possible. It takes two people in order to create harmony within a relationship. And she's unwilling because she's not willing to heal. Does that make sense?
Yeah. At the same time, I'm like, I'm coming to my own journey where I'm not going to be responsible for other people's journeys anymore. So as much as I'm like, okay, I wish the best for you, I'm just kind of like, do you? Because I'm not like, she comes home crying about her weight every single time she visits. That's been her whole life. It's been her weight. And it's like, okay, what's behind the weight? Clearly there's a reason, like there's something you're not looking at. And at this point, I'm just kind of like, figure it out. Because I'm always like, between me and her, I've been the one who's been like very like, you know, like, oh, okay, well, let's dig deeper. Let's, like, no, you're not, like, you're more than that, and you're more than your weight, and you're beautiful. And I've always tried to like be like a positive, sounding board for her. But whenever I came to her, it was always like, you're too like, it was always like negative response from her, like, you're too emotional, I don't want to hear it. And so I'm kind of like, yeah, like, figure it out. I'm gonna figure me out. And like I said, I wish everyone the best. I want everyone to figure it out. I want to figure it out, but I know it's not like, oh, you figure it out and it's one and done, and then the rest of your life is like, smooth sailing. I know, like, there's always new things you're uncovering about yourself, and it's about the journey and not the destination. And it's like, I'm constantly, hitting aha moments, and then it's like, here's a new here's something else, so it's a process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Beautiful. The best case scenario with those are empowering statements. You've got this. You'll figure it out. You can do it, because it really separates you from, it sounds supportive, but it doesn't put you in a position to go in and then try to rescue.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Yeah. So empowering statements are really helpful when it comes to that. Okay. So, and then how did you do with your list of things you are proud about yourself?
Oh, okay. Right, here's this. I put making my health a priority, honoring my feelings, especially when no one else does, determination and tenacity, my zest for knowledge and understanding, creating the life I desire, love for Mother Earth and the well-being of all, determination for healing. I'm proud, or I love myself for all the things I've overcome, for not, wasting my energy on other, or, well, I don't know if this is accurate, but I put for not wasting my energy on what other people think, which I do care sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, okay, there's like, picking and choosing my battles. And then okay. This is okay. Sorry, there was a longer sentence. For not wasting energy on what other people think I should be doing.
Yes, good.
That's accurate. Or what I should look like. And then getting this far in life, because I've wanted to not be here plenty of times. And then being honest, being more of a beer than doer, being my authentic self, being childlike and playful. Yeah, so that's what I wrote.
Beautiful. Good job. Really great job on that. Good job for doing your homework. Yes. Okay. So we're going to step deeper today into self-validation. Since this is your last session, I want to give you a couple of daily practices to work on as you are increasing your self-validation and your self-acceptance. Okay. So,
Hold on. Let me grab a pen. I don't
no,
know.
do it. Yeah, go ahead.
I usually
Go.
have a bunch of pens next to me, Okay. Okay.
Okay. So, all right. Okay. So, what you're going to do is just on a daily basis, just kind of like daily journaling. Today, I feel this about myself. Blank about myself. If it is heavy, it is heavy, if it is some kind of judgment, if it's something that is demoralizing, something that tears you down, then what you're going to do after that is okay, let's get real, but also stretch it towards the positive. Okay. Cielo, would you mind opening your heart center for me for a moment, babe?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, ouchies. Okay. So if it is demoralizing or some tears you down in some manner, what you're going to write is an acknowledgement. It's painful to feel this way about myself. I wish that I didn't. And it is okay that I do. Okay? Each and every day, I'm working on feeling better and better about myself. Okay. So that's an acknowledgement if it's not ideal. Okay. If it is positive, uplifting, kind, nurturing, self accepting, okay, if today how I feel about myself is blank and it's awesome, then after that, I want you to say, I'm proud of myself. Yay, me. If 7 days in a row, it's all self-destructive, I want you to read that list of things that you're proud of yourself about out loud, and add some more things that come up as you do that. Actually, not 7, 3. If it's 3 days in a row, read that list. I also want you to start gathering when other people give you positive affirmations, like, just noticing when people are like, oh, you're so kind. Oh, you're so, this. Oh, wow, you're so strong. Wow, you're so self-aware, right? As other people start giving you positive affirmations, I want you to start adding those to your list. Okay, so we're going to build that list that you're proud of yourself about. And I just want you to be really, really aware of where you are on a daily basis. And then next, after 3 days, if it continues to stay self-destructive, like you're going to read that list that you're proud of yourself about, and then you're going to go back and do this exercise that we're about to do. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, write that down. Redo the exercise from the 4th session. Okay, good. How does that feel?
Yeah, good.
Good. Do you think that you'll do it?
Yeah.
Good. Yay. Is there a way that you can remind yourself to do it on a daily basis?
Just like have my notebook out, my journal.
Great. Yeah. Good. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. One of the ways that I would remind myself, because I used to journal in the morning and the evening. So in the morning, I would put my journal on my pillow after I journaled, so that in the evening, I actually have to physically remove my journal off my pillow in order to go to bed, so that I'd be like, okay, let me just journal real quick. And then in the evening, once I was done, I would put my phone on top of my journal so that when I woke up, it would be sitting on top of the journal, so I'd remember to do it. So that's how I reminded myself. I didn't like to set an alarm. For a lot of things, I set an alarm, but I didn't like to, because when I'm waking up or going to bed, I like to do things in my own timing. Like, don't tell
Yeah.
me what to do, don't tell me when to do it, like, even if it's from me. So I
Yeah.
would do other reminders for myself like that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because introducing new behavior is not going to be an overnight thing. You'll remember it today, but by the time you wake up tomorrow, you may have already forgotten, because it might be cleared out overnight. So we have to set ourselves up for success when we're trying to do a new behavior.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns?
No. Yeah. Sounds good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, my dear. So go ahead and take some nice deep cleansing breaths in.
Yeah.
What happened? You okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You were looking over there. Is there something?
Oh, I was looking at the date because I was putting the date
Oh,
on my yeah.
good job.
My calendar's over there.
Perfect.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so go ahead and take some nice deep cleansing breaths. Before we delve into this work,
Yeah.
what are your religious or spiritual beliefs?
I grew up Catholic. I don't have anything against it or anything like that, but l- loving the head.
Oh, thanks, Avi.
Yeah, but now, I mean, I just like pretty much believe in whatever resonates. Like, will take new information and see, like, okay, if it feels good, I'll run with it. But I'm pretty spiritual, but I do believe in, like, Jesus and the saints and, meditation,
Cool.
just like a
So,
lot of different things.
so
Yeah.
yes to God.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wasn't sure if it's God for you or the universe or
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I call it different things. Like, I'll say God, goddess, universe, source, spirit.
cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okie dokie. Okay, so nice deep cleansing breaths as you breathe out, breathing out any heaviness, any tension, opening your heart back up again. I'm going to count you from 5 down to 0. And at 0, I want you to place yourself in a space that feels very secure, neutral, and still. Starting at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. When you're in that space, nod your head for me. Good. I want you to invite and allow a version of your child self into this space with you. And when she's here, nod your head. What's the first thing that you notice about her?
She's like cracking up.
Why?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because she's just like playful. Like she's just, a kid and they like having fun and stuff.
Beautiful. Okay, so just tell her that you have some serious questions. I want you to ask her how she feels about herself.
She's saying she loves herself.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe her?
Yeah.
Good. Do you love her?
Yeah.
Good. What does she need to know in order to feel validated by you?
That even though I have bad days, it doesn't reflect who she is and how I feel about her.
Mm.
And that no matter what, she's perfect exactly how she is, and I accept her for who she is.
Mm. Do you feel that way?
About her, like her, or about my, or just as me as an adult, or as the child?
Both.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, not well about her. Yeah, I feel like she's divinely perfect. But as far as like me saying that about me as an adult, there's parts of me that don't always believe it.
Mm-hmm. So, what parts of you are those that don't always believe it? Let's bring
Mm,
those forward.
yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
as we invite and allow those parts of you forward, how do they appear to you?
as my parents and siblings, like the version of me that believed that or whatever I did or who I was wrong.
I want to talk to that version of you, not your parents and siblings. Can you bring that version in? Is that cool?
Yeah, no, it's not them.
Oh,
It's the version of me that believed what they told me, that I
good.
was wrong and I wasn't, um, it wasn't right to be me.
Got it. And how does that version appear to you?
Like cry,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like, shocked. Like
Shocked.
there's disbelief,
Yeah.
um, betrayal.
Mm.
Like, why are these people saying this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's thank that other version of yourself for showing up and let's let her go. We're just going to work with this version of you, okay? Now, what does she need to say to you? I want you to hold a space for her so that she can fully express herself to you and say exactly what is on her heart. And you don't have to say that out loud. This can be just between the two of you, but I want you to just hold a space and just listen to everything that she has to say. And just listen, just keep listening, just keep holding space. Don't try to calm her, don't try to soothe her, don't try to justify or explain away what she thinks or how she feels. Just hold the space. And when she feels like she's fully expressed herself and everything that she needed to say, nod your head for me. Good. And if it feels right, go ahead and put your arms around her. And tell her that you are here with her. She will never be alone. Do you accept her as is?
Yes.
Is it okay with you that she's wounded?
Yeah. She's healing though. Like it's
Sure, and she might.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And she might. And at times, she might be re-triggered.
Mm-hmm.
She may have an open wound forever. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you be there for her even if that were the case?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still promise to never leave her even though she might still have days where she doesn't feel great about herself?
Yes.
Yes. How does she respond to that?
She's saying thank you.
How does she feel? How's her energy?
Like she feels pretty safe.
Good. Now I want you to invite and allow your awareness of God also being present and holding the both of you. When you can feel that, when you can sense that, nod your head for me. What kind of response or reaction does that create within you?
Sense of more safety.
Ask God, what happens if you mess up? What then?
I'm hearing you're still perfect in my eyes.
How does that feel?
Validating.
Good. What happens when you hate yourself, when you have moments where you hate yourself?
It's okay to feel that and it'll pass.
How does that feel?
Like, yeah, like more supported.
Good. What happens when there are days where you're mad at God?
He's saying, I'm still going to be here anyways.
Okay. Will he ever drop you?
No.
Will he ever abandon you?
No.
Will he ever leave you to try to figure out everything by yourself?
No. He's saying he'll step back for me to be able to figure things out on my own, but he's still there.
Yeah. How does that feel to know that?
Yeah, like, I mean, like, it is what it is. like, like, okay. It's kind of like when you're, like learning to ride a two-wheel, and then your parent has to kind of like let go of the bike, but they're still like back there, but not holding on.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful analogy. Is there anything else that God wants to say to you in this moment?
Keep going.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that you want to say to this little version of you?
Just like you're perfect exactly as you are.
Hmm.
And I love and accept you.
Beautiful. And taking all positives from this journey today, letting them sink in deeply into your unconscious mind and integrate, becoming seeds that will blossom and bloom into a beautiful version of your next evolution of self, reinforcing all even deeper at 0, which is deep sleep. 1 is a nice deep cleansing breath in. 2 is coming back to the body, back to the room. 3 is a wonderful sense of well-being. 4, an even more alert number. And 5 is eyes open, wide awake and alert. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake and alert. How are you feeling?
Sleepy.
I bet. Oh my gosh, I bet you need a nap to integrate that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, darling, this has been an incredibly powerful next stage of your evolution. There are lots of patterns that could still use clearing out. There's lots of reinforcement and stuff. Work still needs to be done. So just like God said, don't stop, keep going. Okay. But you're well on your way now. Really great work. Thank you so much for allowing us to witness your journey.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for all the love and support. I appreciate it.
Yeah. We're so grateful to you for opening yourself and being so vulnerable with this part of your evolution. We super appreciate you. And
Yes.
we wish you so much goodness
Like,
moving forward.
I receive it.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you,
So
everyone.
welcome, darling. Take care.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining. So this was our very last session of Metamorphosis Live. We're going to take a break for the holidays, but In the new year, we're going to be launching something new called Deep. So stay tuned. We'll be back the first week of January to start the next evolution of this process and journey. So much love to you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Definitely reach out to me or one of my team if you have any questions, if you need any support. We have so many resources for you. You are not alone. And remember, the only person who is responsible for your healing journey is you. You've got this. You are your own hero. You are your own warrior. You can do this. Take so much care. Lots of love. Bye.